Hi everybody, it's Meg from Books Off the Beaten Path, and before I get started, I wanted to say a big thank you to Kevin Towles. He gave me a shout out on his channel, and I will link him below, and I was so thrilled and so touched and so excited by the whole thing. It was wonderful. But today I'm here, I'm going to show you my journal, the new journal that I got, and then I'm going to show you the books I got from the library for my compare and contrast summer project. Okay, starting with the journal. This is what they got me for Mother's Day. Isn't it gorgeous? Look, you can see all the book titles on there. And it's just as soft as butter. Soft as butter. So shout out to anyone who knows that reference. They're like butter. See my craggy handwriting in it? I journal every morning. It's important to me. I don't think I could go to work if I didn't journal. I think I would have to turn around and come back home. But anyway, this was my Mother's Day gift, and I love it. Okay, so what is the compare and contrast project? Well, I love vintage, and I'm really trying to articulate why I love vintage that much, why I've gotten into it so much, why it's such a joy for me. And so, you know, I like certain types of books. And so what I did was when I took my mother to the library, remember I told that story where she was really loud because she can't hear herself. I got these books from the library. These are my compare and contrast books. Okay, so we all know how much, let me back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these modern books. I've already read the vintage kind of equivalent of them, and I'm going to see if I can form an opinion as to why I love vintage so much. Who knows, maybe I will love these books as equally as much as I love my vintage books. I just don't know. But let's get them out and see what we've got. Okay, so the first one is the one I've already started reading, and I'm really enjoying it. I wouldn't say that I'm loving it, but I'm really enjoying it. We've hit the middle and we're sagging. This is The Women by Kristin Hannah, and it's very, very good. This is my comparison to Cherry Ames. Now, because it's about a nurse going to war. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, how is that really a comparison? Because this is Vietnam, and Cherry Ames was written for younger people and everything like that. But it really is a comparison because of the friendships of the women and kind of the shock and the training that they go through and everything. But we're in the middle, right in the middle, and we're sagging a little bit. We're dragging and sagging a little bit. So have to see how that comes out in the end. Now, the next one is, do you guys remember my video on John Dickinson Carr? Do you guys remember that? I can post it up here. I think I can. I'll post it up here if you don't remember it. And he's in the locked room mysteries. And you know what that is. Somebody dies in a locked room and you have to figure out how it happened. And he had all sorts of crazy things that happened in his locked room mysteries and everything like that. So I got this one called That Night in the Library, which is apparently a locked room mystery. And apparently these kids go to the library, one night locked in the library, what could go wrong? On the night before graduation, 7 students gather in the basement of the university's rare books library. They're not allowed in the library after closing time, but it's the perfect place for the ritual they want to perform. Interesting. Just a few minutes into their celebration, the lights go out and one of them drops dead. As the body count rises with nothing but the books to protect them, the group must figure out how to survive the night while trapped with the murderer. It's a challenging literary mystery that transports readers to a world where secrets live in the dark and books breathe fears to life, and the only way out is to wait until morning. Now, we're going to see how a modern writer does a locked room mystery. And I'm sure that there's more out there on the shelf, but this is the one I picked up that night in the library. Okay. So, little historical fiction here. One of my all-time favorite Jane Austen book is Northanger Abbey. I loved Northanger Abbey. And I know that you can just go to a bookstore or library and get flooded with Jane Austen books that are written by modern writers, and they're written from the point of view of Jane Austen, or they're written about Jane Austen, or they're written about the characters that Jane Austen wrote, and I get that. But I thought I would pick up this one, and this one is called The Murder of Mr. Wickham. And I'm going to compare this to Northanger Abbey. Now, and the reason I'm doing that is because it's kind of like Northanger Abbey in that, they're in the big house and we've got the death of Mr. Wickham. If you guys don't remember who Mr. Wickham is, he was in Pride and Prejudice. Go look him up. I don't remember exactly. I think he was the bad soldier. I think he was the soldier that got Lydia off and running, I don't know. But anyway, so The Murder of Mr. Wickham is going to be my Northanger Abbey comparison. How are they going to handle that whole Jane Austen mystique? See that one. Okay, The Lost Traveler. This one is really, I'm comparing this to Agatha Christie because this one is apparently, it says move over Agatha Christie. So I've read a lot of Agatha Christie and I'm going to see how this one stands up against it. This one is about somebody in Ireland in County Cork, and they find a dead body with the face smashed in. And so obviously you can't identify a dead body with the face smashed in, so they have to figure it out. And so I'm going to compare this one to Agatha Christie and see what I think about that. And then I've got this one, and this one I just got Disturbing the Dead because I think it's magical realism, which I've never really read. But I think it's about this person who is transported back to Scotland 150 years ago, and there's a mummy unveiling, and when the mummy is unveiled, there's also a death and everything like that. And I really don't have anything to compare this to other than my friend Rob. He writes mystical realism, and so I'm not comparing it to Rob because he writes different things, but I picked that up because I thought, mystical realism is a big thing now, and I don't know that I have any vintage books that even reflect that, so I'm going to try that one. But that's my project, and so I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys are excited about it too. So leave me a comment, hit that subscribe button. Thank you, Kevin, and I will check you later.